Hello everybody, Gamemode here, and today I want to be talking about the new adversary mode in GTA Online called Land Grab. And in this video I want to be giving a review on this adversary mode and talking about what it does right and what I feel it does wrong. So Land Grab is a new adversary mode that was added a couple days ago, and it is pretty much best described as Turf Wars. You know, the adversary mode that was added in Import-Export a couple months ago, but with guns instead of vehicles. And that's kind of about it. You know, it isn't really the most revolutionary adversary mode in the game. And to be quite honest, Turf Wars, and maybe this is just me, but anybody I ever talk to, they always say that adversary mode just wasn't all that good. And whenever I played, I didn't even make a review on the adversary mode just because it was that bad. I didn't feel like actually playing it after the first couple matches. I feel like that was kind of partly because of the name of the adversary mode. You know, you call something Turf Wars. Before I played it, I was thinking, you know, Turf Wars is going to be something cool. It's going to be, you know, sort of like a gang war or, you know, something like that. More of what I thought this adversary mode does well. But it's just, you know, driving around in vehicles, taking points, and coloring a map. It just wasn't all that great in my opinion. But this one is a little bit different. While it is essentially Turf Wars, but with guns, I feel like it's more fun and more entertaining for a few reasons. One is, personally, I'm not a big fan of the vehicle-based adversary modes. While some are good, like Vehicle Vendetta is okay at times. And also, I'd say Hunt and Pack is one of the best adversary modes in the game, and that's vehicle-based. The majority of the adversary modes that I personally like are dealing with combat, guns, stuff like that. And if you're not familiar with Turf Wars and how that adversary mode is designed, essentially what this adversary mode is, there's these sort of grid points on the map, and whenever you walk over them, you get that point assigned to your team. And you want to hold these points and defend them, because if an enemy runs over them, then that point will be transferred over to the enemy team. It's sort of like a deathmatch, but, you know, instead of the actual kills mattering, it's more about the actual tiles themselves. And there's these sort of mini rounds, I like to call them, where I don't know how long it is, maybe a minute, I'm not too sure. But after a certain amount of time, whoever has the most amount of points at that specific time will win for that certain round. And it's first to 3 of those different rounds. So I definitely enjoy this adversary mode a lot more than Turf Wars. However, that isn't to say it's all perfect. One thing that I do notice is that at first the maps and the sort of aesthetic of this adversary mode is a little bit strange. Essentially, you're in like the Deadline outfits, and the maps are definitely influenced by Deadline, which kind of works in Deadline, that adversary mode, but not so much in here in my opinion. A lot of the lights and a lot of, you know, just the sort of all atmosphere of this adversary mode is pretty distracting in my opinion. And while you do eventually get over it, I do feel like it is a little bit distracting at times and does get a little bit of getting used to. Another thing is that it makes a lot of the maps look extremely similar. Especially whenever you're on the job voting screen for the next job, all of them look pretty much exactly the same. I cannot tell you, you know, which number of these maps. I think there's 7 of them in total. Whereas, you know, you look at something like Resurrection, you know, they're all in these distinct locations, and you can tell which one is which just by looking at the picture. This one, not so much. And talking more about the maps are kind of hit or miss. Some are okay, but some are kind of just strange, and I don't know what they were going with. Some of them are okay, but at the same time, some just have some weird oddities to them. Some are either too small and there's too much cover, and it's just too much going on at once. And then other ones are just, you know, complete flatlands, and there's no cover, and it just turns into an extreme spawn trap, or, you know, just a snipe fest where nobody's actually taking any points. That's another problem. Spawn trapping. While some adversary modes in the past have had some form of spawn trapping, I'd say something like Cross the Line had it, and even, you know, Inch by Inch could have had it at times as well, because, you know, you'd always spawn in one point of the map. This one is just even worse because the matches go on for so long, if you get a good spawn trap on somebody, they're always going to spawn in the same point each and every time. And while they do give you a little bit of spawn protection, it's still not enough. I've had many matches where my team and I were just spawn trapping the enemy team. Like, they cannot get out of their spawn. I had this one match where they just would stay in their spawn because there's nothing they could have done. Like, all of us, we had all the points. We pretty much had the entire map covered. And they were just spawning at the same point. And we were just spawn trapping them pretty much entirely. And they just could not get out of their spawn no matter what they tried. And that is definitely a problem with this adversary mode, because not only does it suck to be on the receiving end of a spawn trap, but it's just extremely boring to actually be doing the spawn trap. And at least in my opinion, that I don't find as fun and as entertaining. So yeah, this adversary mode, it's hit or miss for a lot of people in my opinion. Another thing I do want to say though, that is a good thing, is that this adversary mode is 16 players and has the option of going up to 4 teams. Now at 4 teams, the spawn trapping's a little bit less because you just have people spawning all around you. Although I do have the problem of whenever you have it to 4 players, it just gets pretty chaotic at times and you're always just getting shot from behind, or you don't know what to do on some of the maps, as well as it just gets kind of confusing whenever you're looking at the scoreboard and it's like, and it's like all these 4 teams are going neck and neck, and whoever's in the lead, changing like every couple seconds. That is a little bit hard to follow, and I'd say 3 teams is kind of the best because it sort of eliminates the spawn trapping, but it's still kind of easy to follow. So as for this adversary mode, will I be playing it in the future? I don't know. It's kind of nice, but at the same time, it's pretty unoriginal. It's just turf wars with guns instead of vehicles. And even then, turf wars wasn't even that played of an adversary mode in my opinion. Like, I don't think I've ever played it since the DLC came out, and since it was double money and RP. And even then, during that, I didn't see many people playing it. But anyways, some thoughts on this in the comments. Do you like this adversary mode? Do you not? And if there are anything that you would like to see changed about this adversary mode, definitely let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. Hope you enjoy. Feedback, so special. I'll see you guys in the next video.